Hi, this is Gary in Texas Zone 9A. Going to do a walkthrough on the garden tour. This is Christmas Eve, so first thing we're going to look at is potatoes, and they got frozen back, and kind of see what they made. I didn't expect a whole lot out of these. They got put in late and didn't come up real good. Well, there's a few. That's about the size I was expecting. So, you know, they were potatoes that were going bad to start with. So, they gave us a few new ones. Take it inside. And like I say, I never had a whole lot of luck with fall potatoes. Actually, this is about the best I've had. But I didn't have anything in this bed anyway, so I had some potatoes that were going bad. You know, they're already starting to sprout, so it's kind of a try to see what happens. More potatoes that were It's always fun digging potatoes because you almost like Easter egg hunt. Trying to find what's in here. I would say I'm kind of surprised at these. I think those are Yukon Gold. They don't usually do very good. I like Yukon Gold, but they don't produce a whole lot of potatoes. I think that's going to be about it. And I'll plant something else in this thing. Okay. So, look back down here. It's not bad. I mean, you're not going to get the potatoes like they show sometime on the other channels where they show. I know I've seen one channel, they had a 5-gallon bucket and they were pouring it out and had all these potatoes stuck up beside it. And the 5-gallon bucket was only half empty. So, you know, there's a lot of fake stuff out there. One thing I'll say on mine, I'm not going to fake anything. If I mess up, if something goes wrong, I'm going to tell you. We're all here to learn. So here is the Okinawa spinach. It can't take the freeze. It will come back next year. At least it has last 3 years. And but it does die back in the winter. Does really good during the summer. So I'll shim it back up in a little while. Here's the oregano, and it's starting to take over again as it does. Got a few volunteer lettuce plants. There's the rosemary, it's still doing good. I may put it in a bigger pot. This is the Roddenberry peach that actually comes back from seed, and you know, you'll see it's got some flower buds on it. It's not budding out, which is a good thing because some of the other ones are. Because it's got a little bit higher chill. The low chill hour peaches will tend to, or peach trees will tend to bloom out early on you, and if everything blooms, you have no buds left for spring. This is the carrots that I planted, and they're doing okay. I wish they were bigger than that, but I got them planted in late. This is some of the ginger I grew in the pot. I'm still waiting on it. I may probably dig it out here fairly quickly. Supposed to start getting some actual winter weather down here. These are the plants that I've kept either in the garage or kept them up underneath the carport so the freeze didn't kill them. This is a volunteer dwarf tomato that he put some more dirt and kind of prop it up. Now, one thing that did change out here is, I planted all the garlic, kind of showed everybody how you plant the garlic, and that was going to work great, and then nothing came up. Again, I'll show you if it doesn't come up, but I'm starting to get, there's one right there, there's one right there, there's one right there. So they just come up really late this year. There's a bigger one up over here coming up. So, I planted a row here, and I think I planted a row back there and a row up front. They finally came up. Maybe I needed to plant them earlier. Maybe they needed more. I don't know what the deal was, why they were so late this year, but they were. This is the, I use these sweet potato plants just to feed the Euromastic lizard, so I try to keep it going a little bit longer till the lettuce and stuff catches up and I start feeding that. Let's swing up over here and look at the cuttings that I did. They're sitting here. This one don't look very good. I don't think it's going to make it. These others, they look okay. We'll see. You just kind of got to watch them, see what happens. This one's not looking good. It's got the brown starting going down it. This is looking better. The figs, which are a lot easier to do, they're looking good. They're still, I don't see any roots yet. That's why I like this here, because I can go up here and look, see if it's rooted yet. If I can see good. That might be a root there, but I got a feeling it's not. Look at this here. I don't see any roots there. Now I planted some beets here, and they haven't come up yet. Again, it's kind of out of season when I plant them, so they may or may not come up. That's the only thing, you plant stuff outside of season, sometimes you just don't get good germination because the conditions just aren't right. Now this is the one that I planted last year and it finally came up. It's starting to make more seeds, more roots. Now I did order some more citrus through the mail. I'll probably pot this one up whenever I pot those up, whenever they come in the mail. They're supposed to be coming in Wednesday. I'll do a video on it to see if it's worth doing. But anyway, let's go up over here. Okay, this is the loquat tree. Bees are going crazy over this thing. What, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bees on it. And then here's the loquat fruit. So this is already fruited out. Those did go ahead and make. If I can keep them from freezing, they'll make the spring. Like I say, that's the difference in, actually there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's a bunch of bees up over here. So I'm helping out the pollinators. And we'll let them do their thing. It's about close to 65 degrees today, I guess. This is the Jiu-Jitsu sweet lemon. They're ready to go. We just hadn't ate them yet. The tree's looking good. I did pot this one up, and it's looking fine. This here is the Persian lime. This tree has not done well. It is starting to throw out some growth, which I'm glad of. Like I say, if it gets cold, you gotta bring it inside. It is not cold hardy, so that's one thing you have to be careful with these. If it gets down, if it gets down 26, 27 degrees, it's gonna kill this thing. It might kill it at 30. So you gotta be really careful on limes. They don't like the cold at all. So, some of the other stuff you can do. I know I lost 7 citrus trees between the 2 big freezes, and I think temperature got down like 25 degrees, and I wasn't that worried about it because I've seen all the other freezes, but they were new trees I planted that spring, and then that next year we got down to 25 degrees or so. It wiped them out. So, and again, don't take a whole lot to protect them. These, of course, in containers, I can put them in the garage. If not, you can pile leaves or pine bark mulch, or even that shredded pine that you get, pine shavings you get up there at the feed store. That would work well. Just something to cover them to keep them insulated from that really cold weather. The other, let's go back. Well, we've got one over here, and this is the other. This is some of the greens that I'm growing, and they're just now starting to take off. Again, they got started late too, but they'll do okay once it's, if I can keep them from drying out and getting too wet. This here is one of the lychee trees that's kind of floppy. I'm going to need to pot it up here sometime. I wish it was a little more stable. And you gotta be careful, because once you get like that, you know, you can't, if you stake them up really well, they're never going to strengthen up. But if you don't stake them up enough, then they can tend to break and get weather. So anyway, let's go over and look at these other trees over. Okay, this is another lychee that's in the ground, and it has got bees all over it. And that's good. You're wanting that, but hear them. And I don't know if you can cover on the camera, but you hear the buzzing on them. So this has got 20, 30 bees on it. So we'll leave them do their thing. One thing, if you're in the south, this is a fig tree, and it has got, you see this kind of puffy stuff here? That's fire ants, and they will destroy a tree if you're not careful. They also got in this peach tree over here, and I did poison them. Maybe I got them so far anyway. But I did put down some poison. Here I put them in the pot and outside the pot, because by the time this peach tree makes, all that poison I put in it's going to wash out. That's not according to the label. Label-wise, you probably get by with just, you know, spraying around the side of the pot, because the roots aren't going to be able to touch it. So if you want to be safe, or safer, then, you know, put the stuff around it. Fire ants are a problem down here. They love to get in pots. In fact, that's one way they spread. They get in nursery pots, and then they go from place to place, and that was one way they help spread them by accident. Here's my big lychee tree. It's looking all right. Hadn't really changed much. Need to shut it back down so it won't blow over. This is the longan tree, and it suffered a little bit of damage from the frost the other day if you look at it, but I don't think enough to hurt anything. I need to get them closer to the house so I can bring them in better. And I did cut a lot of the fruit off of this one. Actually gave it to a neighbor, but still got plenty. I mean, I might have cut half of them, maybe 2/3 of them. You still see there's a bunch of lemons. It's some Meyer lemons on it. And then here's the other mandarins that we've been cutting. We've been taking those. This one is a clementine. It's very seedy. You know, and I'll trade seed for flavor, but I mean that's getting kind of ridiculous. But if you only have one, I don't think it gives you very many seeds. They'll still pollinate. But if you have what it is, they'll pollinate, but they won't have seeds in them because cross-pollinating them makes them have more seeds. So if you have multiple citrus around them, you know, this one, that's why it says in the description, few to many seeds. If you don't have very many citrus around, they won't cross-pollinate and you won't have as many seeds. But I have enough citrus around that I have a bunch of seeds. And this one, there's the pomelo. I've talked about it a good bit. And this one over here is the pumpkin. We've liked the taste of it really well. It'll have a seed on every, like every segment may have 1 or 2 seeds in it, but that's not bad. You can bite one in on the seed and get the seed out pretty easy. But it's, like I say, I think this is only, I planted it 2 years ago. So it's done really well. And that's one thing I don't like the, hey boy, that rootstock except for in the containers. But anyway, the figs are behind, so there's not really anything to see on the figs. They're all lost their leaves. And let's go in the and then the blueberries. I did fertilize the blueberries here for the rain, and they're going to get up and start blooming here pretty quick, earlier than what you want them to, but they'll bloom in January and February. Let's go back and look in the garden and show you what's going on there. Okay, here's the first part of the garden, on the in-ground garden. I've got it sown with the daikon radish, and you see it's daikon radish coming on. It's looking good. It's used as a cover crop and help break up soil, and I had the seed, so I went and planted it all. I got another planted up over there. Got 3 plots of it planted. The good thing about daikon radish is it's easy to terminate. You can till it in, whatever, you can chop it up. It's pretty easy to terminate. One thing you want to be sure of is when you plant a cover crop, and you'll say, I want to do a cover crop. This plot here a couple of years ago, I had some extra annual ryegrass seed. I said, hey, that'd make a good cover crop, and I had anything planted on it. I slung out the ryegrass seed on it, It's a devil to try to get rid of. You know, I went in there and I tilled it up about 3 or 4 times. When I till it up, we get a rain, it come right back. Because that's what ryegrass is good for. Is, you know, it makes it really good in a pasture, because if the cows or horses stomp on it, stomp in the ground, it'll continue to grow. It's also resistant to Roundup. So if you say, well, I'll spray Roundup and kill it. Like last year, after I'd done this, then we did go to training on cover crops. That's one of the things they said is do not use annual ryegrass in your cover crops, because it's just hard to terminate, hard to get rid of, and it becomes a weed. So wheat or oats or something of that nature, or regular Elbon rye, just a regular rye grain, is fine as a cover crop to put in there. I kind of wish that I might put some alfalfa in here, but I mean not alfalfa, clover in here. The only thing about the clover is it likes higher pH. I think my pH is still a little bit low for it, so that's why I didn't put any in there. But anyway, that's the first plot. We'll go over here and look at the onions here. Here's the onion plants that we planted here, late November. They didn't do a whole lot for a while. We have got a few rains on them. I've been pushing them with some fertilizer. I put out some urea fertilizer yesterday. We got a rain. If you use urea, remember it's very potent. It's 45% nitrogen, so you don't want to put too much down. It's also very volatile. If you throw it on the ground and it just sits there, it's all going to evaporate and go back into the atmosphere, and you'll lose the fertilizer, because that nitrogen is readily available. If you get a heavy dew, it'll put it in a liquid form. It'll put it in liquid form, and then it'll go into a gaseous form. Nitrogen is always trying to get up back into the atmosphere, and that's kind of true whether or not it's synthetic or organic. If you sling chicken litter on top of the soil, and don't plow it in, you're going to lose some of it through volatilization. That's taking that nitrogen and let it transfer it back into a gas and going back to the atmosphere, because 80% of our atmosphere is nitrogen anyway. So the other thing I do want to show y'all is this is another loquat tree. It has got a massive number of bees on it right now, so they are hitting it up good. This is a Gold Nugget variety. It's the one you usually see around here locally. If you're in Tractor Supply or Lowe's or whatever, they tend to have this one, and it's not a bad one, but it's not a great one either. It doesn't have as good of flavors as the other one that I've tried. We also got some other ones too, so but it has made out a lot of flowers, and bees are loving it right now. So let's go over and look at the other. Okay, now we're back over. If you turn over here and look, here's the daikon radish here. If you'll notice on the far end, it's a lot taller. One of the reasons for that is that's where we had piled up some grass clippings, so it's more fertile. So I did add some more fertility to it, trying to get them to grow a little bit better. Then turn over this side. This is where we had the tomatoes, and if you'll notice, they're not evenly green, so that means that the fertility is not even on it either. So I did put a little, I'm just trying to grow mass right now, but that's one thing that I may come in here and put some chicken litter or something on there, trying to get it balanced out. But there is some, you do see some variations in the fertility for it, so I'm going to try to fix that. But anyway, that's the swing around, show the ryegrass out there. The stuff that's green out there is mostly ryegrass. It's really good for the pasture. If you show the donkeys over there, he's eating it. The horse was eating it earlier. Chickens are running around, they're eating some of it too. And we have been fertilizing it well. The only thing, if you're going to start using that for pasture, you've got to fertilize ryegrass really well, or it won't do anything for you. And finding fertilizer that's reasonable. I finally found a place around here. It's called Farmers Mercantile in Orange, and it was way cheaper than anything you get at the box stores. If you do use synthetic fertilizer, remember, never put anything that says weed on it. Okay, if it says weed and feed, that means it's got pesticides in it that's going to kill your garden. So be cognizant of that. I think I bought a 50-pound bag of the 45% urea for $17 a bag, which is, getting any bag of fertilizer, that's a 50-pound bag. Getting any bag of fertilizer for $17 now is almost impossible. So if you're going to be fertilizing a large area, you're going to use synthetic fertilizer, shop around, try to find your, you know, if you got an old garden area where the farmers are buying stuff at, that's where you want to get it at. Try to stay away from the box stores, because almost every fertilizer they sell has some type of herbicide in it. And really, even if you're going to be fertilizing your lawn, you don't need to be fertilizing the same time you're putting out the herbicide. So, you know, I've always cautioned people, don't use weed and feed fertilizers. But anyway, that's one of my little rants. Thanks for watching.